Hello and welcome to the Gamers Health Podcast, part of the Tavern Chat Podcast Network. Should I call it that? Maybe, sort of.
Yeah, since you have so much going on.
Got it going on here on the Tavern Chat Network. Folks, it's a Friday night, and this is when Rach and I, Tenkar, we talk about issues that affect our health. We talk gamers' health, but we like to share our updates in our lives and ideas to help you in your lives. And the only way you can do that is honesty, right? You got to be able to come out and say, hey, this is what's going on. So yesterday, I went to my orthopedist. I have sciatica. I've had a tightening now in my left shoulder.
Is he orthopedist or is he pain management?
He's pain management and an orthopedic.
Oh, all at the same time.
Yeah, he does surgery.
Okay.
There are days he has to cancel because he's doing surgeries.
Oh.
Yeah, he's got a big practice.
In it.
He's in it. He's good. And my left shoulder has been tightening up. And you know, when you sleep on your shoulder one way, it gets tight. It got tight, and it got a little bit tighter when I got my flu shot. I don't think it's fully recovered from the flu shot. But I can't fully reach over my head with it. I can't extend it properly. It's gotten a little bit better with me using the Nintendo Switch because I've been playing the Fitness and Rhythm Boxing 2, I believe it's called.
Yeah.
And it's been a good exercise. It's been getting me some toning of my muscles. And it's certainly been giving my my body and my heart a nice little workout. It's good. So he said, yeah, you definitely have some stiffening. He used some other words. I'm not a doctor. I don't pretend to remember what he said exactly. But stenosis, there you go. And showed me some stretches and said the best thing I could be doing actually is, believe it or not, using that Nintendo Switch, the active games. Because he goes, the fear would be if you did not constantly keep it in motion and stretch it, it could literally lock up where you could not move it above like your
right, and that's why he has
level.
you doing the things against the wall. Because like it also helps to stretch the fascia, which support the muscles to be able to do their actions.
Right. So the stretch that I have to do now is I take myself and I take my side and I face, like with my left side, I face the wall with my left side. And then I raise my hand as high as I can raise it and put it up against the wall. And then I kind of inch myself close to the wall and reach up the wall as far as I can until it gets painful. It's a stretch. And stretches are generally going to be painful if you're not stretching something. And then once you're that way, then you rotate your body. So now you're facing the wall, but your hand's still on the wall. So you're turning your angle as to how you are in contact with the wall. So yes, we're addressing that. So that's the latest aspect. That being said, most of my sciatica-related issues have improved. They haven't gone. I still have tightness in my hips, but I think Rach, you've noticed I can bend a bit more now.
Yeah.
Which is great. I can walk a little bit faster. I'm not keeping up with my 5'2", 5'3" wife, who constantly outpaces me, but I'm getting there.
Well, it's just because we have to. Us shorties have to take more steps.
Uh-huh.
So we're used to having to keep up with the tall ones.
Yeah, well, I'm the tall one that's constantly trying to catch up with my wife. I'm not tall.
No, you're doing well with that though.
I'm doing better than I was. But my doc was like, and he used to always tell me, you can just lose 5 to 10 pounds. It'll be a great relief on your back. And I always assumed that I weighed somewhere in a range of 240 to 250, maybe 252 or 53 on a bad day. And you know what I stopped doing for well over a year, maybe close to 2? I stopped weighing myself unless I really felt like I was lighter. Maybe you had a good week. Maybe you had a week where you had stomach issues and you weren't eating and you were just crapping your ass out. And then you weigh yourself and you go, oh, look at that. I'm 238. I'm losing weight. When I first saw my orthopedist, I guess this is 2 years ago, Rach?
It's got to be.
2 years ago. He told me today, because he asked me what I was weighing. I was like, well, I've put on a few pounds. I was down to 213. That was my steady weight. Now my steady weight is like 218 to 220. I have to weigh myself every morning. What you do when you have congestive heart failure, they want you to see if you're retaining water. So he goes, well, that's good because you're down over 50 pounds from when you first came in. You weighed 275. I didn't realize that. It was eye-opening. Because when I had my congestive heart failure, when I was in a hospital last May, I tipped the scales at 292, and I got my eyes teared up because I was like, I'm almost 300 pounds. What the hell happened? I was like, I haven't weighed. It's like the most I ever weighed was like 265 when I had Hodgkin's. Well, you know what? I was 275 because and part of me knew it. Part of me shouldn't have been surprised by it, right? Part of me, I wasn't weighing myself because I knew, right?
Or didn't want to know.
Or it's willful ignorance, folks. And you know what? Closing your eyes to your health,
and we've all done it. I know I have.
Yeah, and
multiple.
I know times. It's easy to close your eyes to your own health issues. You have to take a look at them sometimes. You got to actually take an honest look at yourself. You got to assess yourself. One of the hardest things to do is evaluate yourself, whether it's like job related or personal related. But we're also our hardest critics sometimes. I had a boss, a sergeant, when I was a cop in the late 90s, who used to give us our own evaluation to write. And his theory was, if you are honest, there's no harsher critic than yourself, because you can hand it to your sergeant.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, and then I can look at what you and look at what you say your faults are, or and then he goes, usually 9 times out of 10, I think that you're better than you actually think you yourself are. And that's maybe why we're kind of afraid to evaluate ourselves, because we're hoping that we're better, but we know we're not. And if we actually make that evaluation and see that number, then it shocks us, right?
We're going to have to do some kind of drastic change, or whatever type of change that we do.
Right.
But at different points in our life, that's more scary than at others. Yes.
I mean, folks, and I said this in the past, and I'm going to say it again. You only have one life. There's only one you. Okay? And our time on this planet is limited. And we want to make the most of the time that we have. And by making the most of the time that we have isn't just, I want to make sure I explore everywhere. I want to make sure I see everything. You have to ensure that you are there as healthy as you can be, reasonably be, to give yourself the better odds to live long enough to achieve all that. We are all gamers, right? If you listen to this podcast, you're a gamer, or you're related to a gamer, and we all kind of play with odds in our head, right? We're always like, how am I going to make this situation, this encounter, how am I going to optimize it? How am I going to put the odds in my favor? What actions do I have to take? Do I have to get behind the creature to get the backstab in? Well, yes, I do, right? Do I have to lose 20 pounds to maybe give myself an extra 3-year life expectancy? Maybe I do. So why aren't you doing it, right? I can't answer that. I can answer that question. I can't answer it for you.
We can ask it of ourselves.
Yeah, ask that question of yourself, because I'll tell you, with me, I was afraid. I was afraid, because that would mean knowing the truth. And I could always say, when I would see friends of mine, well, so-and-so, compared to so-and-so, I look like a lightweight. You know what? But compared to somebody else, you don't. Compared to somebody else, maybe you are the heavyweight. All right? Don't pick and choose your comparisons. Compare yourself to maybe who you were 20 years ago.
Yourself is the comparison.
I went into the police academy weighing 213, and I wasn't a lightweight. I got out weighing 223. I put on a lot of muscle. 2 years ago, apparently I was 275. Last May, I was 293 with a shit ton of water. Now, when I left the hospital, weighing about 235 at the end of 2 weeks. My mindset was, wow, I pissed out nearly 60 pounds of water. That's fucking amazing. No, I didn't. Oh, it's still amazing. But it's likely I dropped 10, 15, 20 legitimate pounds. I was around 250, 255 before the water. And being on a hospital diet, and listen, it was good food, don't get me wrong, but it's all portioned to ensure that you're getting a certain calorie intake. And I am sure going before that, I was not eating portioned foods.
No.
So
none of us were.
I am sure I was losing more than just water weight. Folks, again, it's your body. All right? It's your health. It's your life. But there are people that love you. I mean, and I'll be honest with you. My motivation to lead a healthy life, and I discussed this with Rach earlier today, is Rach. I don't want to be the one bowing out early and leaving early if I can take precautions, if I can take actions that will make that much less likely. And I can spend, instead of maybe, if I did nothing for my congestive heart failure, right? If I continued eating shit, and it was the saying, eat shit and die, right?
It's true.
So maybe I'd eat shit and at the age of 58 die of a heart attack, right? So now maybe I'm eating better and I'm exercising and I can get 15, 20 years or maybe longer. And the other thing is, I want to fuck the system. I want to collect my pension as long as possible and say fuck you to New York City and New York State.
Fuck you, man.
Fuck you to man. I want to collect at least $1 million off that pension. I gotta,
you gotta be.
You gotta have your goals, folks. You gotta have your goals.
Yeah, and those are good ones.
Yeah. So, but that's the honesty. And again, honestly, I wasn't being honest with myself, was I? You first step to any kind of improvement in you, and whether it's at your emotional health, your physical, spiritual, mental, you got to be able to evaluate you and see where you have your faults or where you have your issues or what you can improve. It's not easy. I'm not saying it is. I certainly wasn't fucking doing it, right? I needed to have the scare of my life, literally, to wake up. And part of that wake up is this podcast. But the worst thing about being a parent is when you see your child do the fucking same mistakes and you tell them, don't do X, Y, and Z, because I did X, Y, and Z, and I really got fucked. And you see them do X, Y, and Z because they have to do it themselves, and now they learned it, now they're taking corrective action. I'm trying to say to you, and maybe it won't affect you, maybe it won't, maybe somebody else is listening will say, hey, I see what Tenkar's going through and Rach has gone through. I'll take a moment to evaluate myself. I'll do an honest assessment. And what can I improve? And maybe you're going to say, I'm perfect. And if you're perfect, God bless you. But you're fucking lying. You're fucking lying. All right?
Your shit stink just like mine.
Don't lie to yourself. When you lie to yourself, you're lying to your loved ones. They want you around for a long time. Do actions that will do that. And again, we're in the world of COVID. We've spoken about this. We're not medical professionals. I took my parents yesterday to get their first COVID shots. So now they got their first shots. We got a date today. By the way, New York State can suck my ass. Holy shit. What a pain in the ass website.
I'm so sorry, Elephant. in your lap. I'm like, I can't fucking deal with it. Fuck it.
I have more patience than Rach.
Down in the desk.
It takes a long time for me to get overwhelmed. When I do, I start to threaten to throw things out the window, usually things that are valuable to me. But Rach doesn't have that patience that I have. I've been trying the last week to get her an appointment. And then tonight, the website said that there are appointments, but then they crashed the website just as I was reserving one for her. Just as. Fuckers. And maybe half an hour later, it was back up. And I got her an appointment for early March for her first one. I'm hoping that my when it comes time for my shot, hopefully it gets taken care of through St. Francis Hospital, where I'm going for my cardiac monitoring and treatment. Because once we are all, it's a multi-generational household. Once we have our crowd immunity, once we've all been immunized, it makes things a lot easier. Because remember, immunization does not mean that you're immune. It doesn't mean that you can't catch it. It means that when you do catch it, you might not even know you had it, but you're still a carrier for others. So that's why you need the herd immunity. So I'm probably going to be the one holding up the rest of the pack here. But we'll get there.
It's all good. We're right here with you, man.
That's it. Anything else?
The only reason I got ahead is because of what I do for a living.
Right. She's a social worker, and she works with people in mental health. So they want to put them back in their office. They want to do this in person again, and I understand why. There's only so much you can do. Distance is only so much. We've been doing virtual cons, and Rick's been doing virtual yoga.
I mean, there's a lot of pros to it. It's very accessible. You don't have to get on the train and go over there, or a lot of stuff like that.
Probably don't need. If I was a guy, I probably wouldn't be putting on my pants. Not saying that's the case now. We're wearing lounge pants, but I'm just saying. I think as a member of the male species, if I could sign into work and be in my underwear, and get paid, that would be a win-win.
I'm sure many people do. They have their shirt on top and
their
undies on the bottom.
Like the commercial you see with a guy.
Oh yeah, they're like, "We see you, Mark." Yeah.
Oops, I didn't realize you were streaming live. So again, you are important to us, the community. All right, we're stronger for all the parts than we are individually. And if you need to reach out, if you need somebody to listen, call the show. If you're listening on the Anchor app, you can email at Tenkar's Tavern at gmail.com. You can call 347-509-5168. Trying to think what else. At some point in the coming months, Rach will probably be doing a Zoom class for yoga as an instructor. We will let you guys and girls know about it here on the podcast. It'll be given back to the community.
Yeah, I have a lot of people who are offering themselves to me to be able to, with class ideas and run the class by me. So one of my instructors today said that she's not in my yoga training. She's just somebody I see for classes. And I think that's awesome. And then we have a cousin that is a yoga teacher, among many other things. And she's always so open to me. So it's nice to have people in our life that are able to support this. And I'm happy because I'm opening to it. Like a lot of times I'm the kind of person, I want to do it all by myself, but maybe I don't have to. Maybe I can accept what the universe is offering,
and folks,
and what these beautiful people are offering.
I see that in the OSR constantly. I see people offering help and offering advice and literally offering free. Jeff Jones did the layout on a Premier Sports site, gratis, to help me out. And other people have stepped up to help. And it's a beautiful thing. If somebody's offering you their hand, there's no weakness in taking it. And there's no weakness in asking for help. I've had that conversation with another friend. You know what the weakness is? It's to have too much pride to ask for help when you need it. That's when you're definitely going to fall and fail.
Suffering in silence sucks.
Yeah.
A lot of moose cock.
As Rachel said, a lot of moose cock. Let's just, that should be the bumper sticker for the Gamers Health podcast.
We should have it sewn on a throw pillow for the living room.
Yes. Cancer is moose cock. Suffering alone.
No, I liked the fuck cancer, and then they had the little stick figure humping on the seat.
All right, folks. Maybe we're getting a little punch drunk right now.
Yeah, I haven't had a drop.
I've had 2 beers, but hey. Folks, we've already spoken about the COVID stuff. Use your common sense. You know. Be safe, be well. God bless. Especially in these days. It's winter, it's cold, it's depressing. A lot of people get seasonal depression. I know that. Thankfully, I don't, but I have good friends that do.
Yeah.
It's
the darkest time of the year, so sure, people.
And it's the coldest time. You don't get that. Go out into the sunlight and recharge your batteries. There's no shame in asking a friend just to listen to you. Maybe you just need to reach out and just hear a voice that isn't part of your closest circle, but somebody that's part of your circles. No shame. All right, folks. On that note, knock on wood, the 2 of us will talk with you again next Friday. I'll be back with Glenn Hallstrom and the gentleman from Big Geekus, those guys, inside joke. That'll be up tomorrow. And you'll hear me yapping again on Sunday. All right, folks. Thank you so much. Laters.